Hello everyone, it is me Preksha N and I welcome you to my channel. In our today's podcast episode of Dhanda Unfiltered, we are having Meghana Mantha, the founder of Teen Chapter, as a guest for this particular podcast. लेकिन इससे पहले अगर आपने इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, then do it right now for more such amazing podcast. तो चलिए आज के podcast को start करते हैं with a brief introduction and let us get to know what exactly she does and how she does.
Thank you so much, Preksha, for inviting me to the podcast. Love your excitement and enthusiasm. Hey everyone, I'm Meghana Mantha. I am a 19-year-old founder of Teen Chapter, and I also run another startup called Cloudwith Studio, along with my roommate in college. And I'm currently in my final year of college, and I major in economics. And I'm doing a couple of courses here and there in business, history, politics, and all of that. And apart from that, I also work for an edtech, which focuses on B2B SaaS education. So I've been working directly with the founders there right now. So that's a brief introduction about me.
Okay, so basically the chapter which you are running, the teen chapter, उसका आपको idea basically कहाँ से आया था and क्या motivate किया था आपको to start this particular venture?
So, Teen Chapter is basically a media platform and a community for teenagers. I have started Teen Chapter in 2021 August. The idea basically came from the intent to do something for teenagers.
Hmm.
I have worked in three youth led organizations before starting Teen Chapter.
Okay.
So, there I've seen that a lot of teens, they put in a lot of effort into their initiatives, but they do not get the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
So to give them a platform, I started Teen Chapter and I started writing about them, featuring their stories and all of that. But fast forward, I've also felt that media platform is not just one thing that I should focus on. So I've seen a huge gap in the entrepreneurial learning among teens.
Mm-hmm.
So kids have the intent, but kids in the sense teenagers have the intent,
Yeah.
but they do not have the right resources or right mentors, and most importantly, the right ecosystem or the support system that can help them out. So in that process, I've brainstormed a 6 week program, which is super affordable. It's 500 rupees, but I waived it off to a lot of people because I was just looking at the curiosity and determination to pursue the program. So
Correct.
it was a 6 week program that we did, which is called Teen Founders Club. So every week they get to focus on different topics which are essential in starting up.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn from directly angel investors, founders of different startups. We had two Shark Tank funded startups as well, from S1, S2, and they have come in. They have spoke about their expertise and all of that. So created an ecosystem there, and also we have started right now. I've started a specific WhatsApp community for internships and for discussions within the founders. So every day I post one opportunity in the group where people can apply and uh, try sourcing internships or
Okay.
try getting internships. So just doing my best to provide a support system for teenagers who want to excel in their professional careers and who want to start up.
Okay, so like how did you discover while working into your other initiatives which you were involved in earlier that this is the thing that you want to do and there is a demand side from the student as well. So how did you validate your idea and how did you go upon getting the first three students and the first three mentors on the platform? How did you build that?
Okay, so I think you have two questions here. One is validation, and then the next second is how did I get people.
Yeah.
So the first one, validate or how did I basically know Teen Chapter is my thing is that at that age of time I had like limited exposure as to what I can limited exposure as I mean, I did explore a couple of fields and couple of companies, but education media was something that really stuck to me. So I have so when I was 13, 14, that was when I started getting really interested in media, filming and all of that. But when I was 17 is when I actually worked with a couple of youth-led organizations, and then that was when I also kind of explored functions like research, content, marketing, and all of that. So with the knowledge that I had around education and media, I wanted to create Teen Chapter, and my passion to provide something for teens stemmed from there, where I combined education and media, which is
Right.
still what I'm doing right now.
Right.
But say 10 years down the line, teen chapter may not be the thing that I'll be doing. Because in 10 years, I would be
बहुत लंबा
exploring a
टाइम
lot of
फ्रेम
things.
है हाँ.
Yes, yes. So I would be exploring a lot of things. So who knows, I might end up in healthcare or fintech or something like that.
Right.
But at this point in time, still I'm very much interested in creating a support system or an ecosystem for teenagers and also young adults, because my teenage ends in like 3 months.
Okay.
So I'll be turning 20.
Okay.
So I want to do something for young adults or people in their early 20s as well.
Right.
So that is it. But I think with regards to validating my idea, Teen Founders Club, the 6 week program that I did, was an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I waived the money also. I didn't want that to be a barrier to a lot of people.
Right.
So we had around 100 applications, and we shortlisted 31 people with high intent.
Mm-hmm.
So these 31 people came in, and then I tested with different founders, with different topics, with different community events during these 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And out of it, 16 people graduated from the program.
Okay.
And out of 16, all 16 of them pitched, and four of them ended up getting cash prizes also.
Mm-hmm.
So these cash prizes, again, I was trying to experiment with sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
Do people really give sponsorships, or what kind of emails do you write to them and stuff like
Right.
that? So this entire process was an experiment to validate my idea of
Hmm.
building an entrepreneurial program for teenagers.
Right.
So this I did last summer, but this summer I might do something different.
Hmm.
So I want to do something offline because online बहुत boring है. So I want to do something offline
Right.
this time,
Right.
for teenagers or young adults. But I'm still figuring out the finances and all of that, and how do I structure the
Hmm.
program. That is it. But I think the second question is, how did I get mentors and speakers for the
Yeah.
program, or in general for any of the things? So for media platform, I reach out to youth-led organizations for podcasts. So
Mm-hmm.
that I do using Instagram, LinkedIn. I leverage my personal network and also via emailing.
Yeah.
You have to be like really active to see if they are active, if
Hmm.
they are posting content regularly, if they are creating an impact. And that is one thing with podcasts.
Right.
But with regards to the program that I was doing, the 6 week program, there, the founders and all, I have again used my network. I have a mentor who has a really good network, and he connected me with a couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, from LinkedIn is your best friend here. So I have been connecting left, right, and center on LinkedIn with founders, investors to come in.
Hmm.
And at this point, I wasn't even paying them also to
Right.
come and teach in the program.
Right.
At the end, I was able to, from the sponsorship money that I had, I was able to design a customized teen chapter box.
Mm-hmm.
I've put the logo and then a book, a pen, and everything. I shipped it off to them. So
Okay.
that is the only thing I could do.
Yeah.
But convincing them, it was all something that I've learned during this program. So it was mostly through LinkedIn, personal network, and
Hmm.
emailing and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think now I have pretty solid connections to run another program as well.
Mhm. Right. And as you mentioned, if you are targeting it in an offline way, definitely that would be much more fruitful, because in online, everyone knows like there is some or the other gap which stays in between. Whatever level of achievement, like we want to try our best to get this thing done online, but the impact, the level of impact, and the experience learning which we can add in an offline way of learning is definitely way greater than what happens actually in online. So I guess that would be a definitely a good move to go. But what do you think? Like if you just start up with the offline way, wouldn't it be restricted to some particular area or the region? Because in online, the advantage is there where you can get connected to the students across India, or I'd say if you increase your reach across the globe. But that cannot be replicated in the offline. So what are your plans for that?
Absolutely. So doing the entire 6 week program offline would be hard,
Yeah.
because I mean, I should also think about the price point that the teens are willing to pay or the young adults are willing to pay.
Right.
But and one other option that I was kind of brainstorming in the last couple of days is that, do first 5 weeks online, where you have your lectures and everything online, and then the last 1 week you have it in a
Physical.
villa or
Right.
something
Yeah.
offline. Yes,
Yeah.
where all of them stay
Right.
together, and then you pay for the accommodation and stuff. And then there we have different kinds of activities, a graduation party and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So that was something that I was thinking, like a hybrid program where the last week you stay together in a resort or something like that. But again, finances is a problem. So I'm still figuring out the sponsorship because I cannot charge a lot to
From
teenagers
the teens,
considering
right?
they're mostly dependent on their parents.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another thing that comes up is regarding the price, because we cannot charge, extensively to the teens, definitely. And they are very price sensitive because they see something which is available in a free market or is already there on another platform at a cheaper price, they'll definitely move. Like, not particularly teens. The idea which I'm working right now is also around the college student itself. So that is what I've observed, that if you are able to get a price which is like lower than the market price, then people will run away to get that thing done. Because as an Indian consumer, the biggest advantage that we have is we have multiple different options to choose from. So it's like it's into our power that from which company do we want to buy, or which product do we actually want to get from which particular company. So that advantage comes into the hands of user, and as a company we need to make sure that they come to us because they see some better value than other companies around the industry. So that is how they can prefer us over others. So that is what you can
Right.
work upon, because they need that plus or extra edge factor while they are considering to pay you. Because coming and enrolling and then versus paying you is kind of different ball game. Because if you are keeping it free, everyone will come up. But if you are keeping it paid, then it's like the filtration comes up, that who would be willing to pay for what kind of services, right?
Right, right. And again, sometimes price becomes a barrier for certain people. So that is when I think providing scholarships and stuff like that would make sense. So there are like a lot of different things that I want to experiment this year as well.
Right.
Probably I'll do that in May, June, July, sometime like that, during summer break for college
Hmm.
students and school students. So
Right.
even right now I'm busy with my college and work. So taking a little bit of that time and brainstorming. But I will probably focus on this program during the summer. Then there are a lot of things that I can experiment and see if certain things work or not.
Yeah, and like if there is it is into the college time, like it would be
Hmm.
difficult for every student to come and attend. But even if it is in like the summer vacation time or winter vacation time, then there are high chances that the number of students who can attend is higher. And they would be also
Yeah.
free at that time, out of college responsibilities and everything. They would be able to dedicate their time fruitful into it. So
Yes. Yes.
do you think that in today's time there are already so many YouTube channels as well and online courses which are around the same thing? And if even if I want to get to know from one particular founder who would be like, let's say, very famous, then I'll definitely get their point of view and their learnings via a podcast or a newsletter like that. So what's your view? What can make this kind of model sustain in today's time, where there are a number of online resources which are present free of cost to a person or like the student who is willing to know? What's your take on this?
Definitely, definitely. So my take on this would be that absolutely, there's so many things online. I personally listen to a lot of podcasts
Yeah.
regularly, and there are a lot of learnings within the online resource itself. But I think uh, the main distinguishing factors is that the people, community, and culture. So if I'm running an entrepreneurial program, even I agree that whatever my speakers, the speakers that I'm getting or the mentors that I'm getting, all the resources are available online itself, and and the people that I got regularly post online.
Yeah.
So all the kids that are in the program, they can learn while looking at their LinkedIn or the YouTube videos.
Hmm.
But I think what's important is them being part of a community. You pick any sort of social platform. So I picked WhatsApp because pretty easy to use, high open rate, and people will reply faster. Or even if they don't reply, they at least see my messages.
Yeah.
And I've experimented with platforms as well. I've used Discord for certain things. I've used WhatsApp for certain things.
Yeah.
So WhatsApp, of course, seemed a lot better to me. So the things that you do every day, you cannot have a dead community at the end of the day. So
Absolutely.
right now, the 6 week program, I'm still working on how to make the alumni active.
Hmm.
But during the 6 weeks, we made sure, even if it's not me, then I had my core team member messaging every day on the WhatsApp group,
Hmm.
sending some sort of resources or doing some sort of community events. We did a lot of speed networking events.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're coming to the program, you're just not learning from the founders, but I just put you in a room with some random person for 2 minutes. And
Okay.
then you got to talk to them.
Hmm.
And within 1 minute, you switch again. So in that process, you have the opportunity to network with 6 to 7 people,
Hmm.
right? So that opportunity, I don't think you'll get while watching YouTube videos. Maybe you can be part of some online forums and stuff like that.
Right.
But being in a community is a whole different experience.
Mhm.
And having an engaging community is something that a lot of people, a lot of edtechs specifically, are trying to tackle.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and the culture also is really important. Best example I can give you about community and culture is build space.
Mhm.
Do you know, have you heard of build space?
Blue space.
Build space,
Build space. No, I haven't.
yes.
Tell me more
You should
about it.
you should definitely check it out.
Okay.
So yesterday itself they had a 1 hour live on YouTube. The
Mhm.
founder came in. He's a great storyteller. So and the founder is Farza. So what they do is they started with something called projects,
Mhm.
something related to Web3, and I don't understand Web3.
Okay.
But post that, they created something called Nights and Weekends. So Nights and Weekends is basically again a 6 week program, and you work on your side projects during nights and weekends with
Okay.
a bunch of people. And it's a free program, anyone can join and all of that. But the community that they managed to build is so beautiful
Mhm.
that just Bangalore group has some thousands and thousands of people.
Oh,
I was
big
I
number.
was Yes, I was part of their S3 and S4,
Huh?
like season 3 and season 4. And season 4 apparently had 17,000 people in the program
Oh, okay. That's the like
worldwide.
big, very big number. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And then they have weekly updates to
Hmm.
just check on what kind of progress you're making.
Hmm.
And then people who I think finish 3, 4 weeks, they end up graduating, all of that. And then they also do offline events, 2 events per year, one in Dubai, one in San Francisco.
Mhm.
But this year, they're doing it in San Francisco and one country in Asia.
Mhm.
So we still don't know which country in Asia. He just left us in suspense. So most of us are thinking it should be India this
Okay.
time, but not sure. But yeah, so if you just go to their website or go to their community or everything, it's really good. And
Mhm.
especially the amount of excitement or the amount of belongingness that you get
Hmm.
there is another level. Simple example, they had their demo day. So
Hmm.
demo day is basically the day where the top 32 startups or
Hmm.
the top 32 ideas, and you can build anything. You can write a novel, you can just film videos, you can
Hmm.
grow your own garden, whatever it could be.
Okay.
You just The top 32 startups will be uh, making 1 2 minute videos,
Mhm.
and that will be on YouTube live. So they keep shifting, and we as audience or we as members, we get the opportunity to vote which one wins or which one doesn't win. So it's like an entire game show that we're part of, kind of a thing. So they managed to evoke those feelings within the community members, which is really good. And I don't think I have been part of any such community, or I don't think any edtech specifically or education company had ever created that sort of a community. So at the end of the day, how many ever courses you're making, how many ever textbooks you're publishing, how many ever online resources there are on entrepreneurship, it the belongingness, the people, the culture, and the community matters a lot more.
Mhm.
So that is really important.
Right.
And I should have told you about this a couple of days ago itself, because yesterday's 1 hour session was very, like, really really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But I'll let you know about more such things.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Like, I would be very much interested to be a part because, like, you increased my excitement more as about like you told about the program. So that also seemed very much fascinating. Where like large number of group of people are working on their side projects and ideas. So that is really interesting. Where like if they are creating a community, it means there is some kind of accountability or responsibility they are holding up to each other, and that's why they are able to move forward. So I think that is what makes a active community different from a community which is dormant or is a community but not very active in terms of the response or whatever they want to convey. So what do you think, what makes them different from a normal community? Because communities are so many, like communities everywhere. Every other D2C brand, another company wants to create a community regarding one particular goal or focus. So what makes an active community where number of different people, like let's say even 30 to 40% of the people joined into the community are actually part of it, actively part of it? What makes it different?
So you're asking what makes an active community different from?
A normal community. which is a like community is there, but in the name of community, not everyone is active there.
Acha. Okay, got it. I think it's from my personal experience, even teen chapters community has been dead for a lot of time because again it depends upon the platform that you're choosing your community. Some people build their own apps
Hmm.
for the communities to be in, but I'm not sure if you will be opening the app a lot and then
Yeah,
checking the messages.
right,
So again, you should figure out a proper platform for your community to be in. You should figure out the right audience with the intent. It's not like, oh, I want to be part of a community, so I'm joining the community. That shouldn't be the case.
right,
So if you really align with, I know certain communities which have an entire form or a questionnaire, and only if that the answers that you give appeal to the community or appeal to the vision or the goal of the company, then they take you in. So it shows how serious you are or how
hmm.
desperate you are to be part of that community.
Right,
So recently I've spoken with this guy, a very interesting guy. He has 200 questions in his application form.
200.
200
Okay.
questions, and only and he'll check the amount of dedication you have to be part of this community, and it's just founders circle, it's just only founders, and he calls it golden circle. So not sure how many people fill it, but from what he says is that that 200 questions, after that there are three levels of interviews.
Oh, interviews to join the
Yes.
community. Okay.
Yes, this is another extreme case that I've
Huh.
seen. And then the person who ultimately crosses all of these things ends up being part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
That is an extreme step. I wouldn't take that much. I personally would lose interest by then. But some people, a good way that I've seen. Do you know Skillzo? Skillzo's founder.
Skill zone. No.
He's doing really great right now.
Hmm.
So even his community has a kind of like an application or a questionnaire,
Mm-hmm.
where they shortlist you based on the answers that you give. They try to look at the goals that you're looking and see if it aligns with their community or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the entry point or the entry point should be pretty strict. It's not like you're allowing everyone into the community.
Hmm.
But if you're allowing everyone into the community like build space, then make sure you have some sort of events or some sort of
Keeps with people.
challenges going on in that.
Hmm.
But again, there's a chance of going dead even if you have events. I've seen so many communities on Discord which do events regularly,
Hmm.
but no one really attends those events
Right. Right.
because you can literally get the information online on YouTube in
Absolutely.
your
Yeah.
convenient time.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's again like different strategies that you employ,
Hmm.
all of that. Sometimes you can constantly keep asking them questions as to how do you do this,
Hmm.
and make them part of the decision making process. Like put them in the decision making process, so they also feel like they're part of something big.
Yeah.
So keep giving them motivation and stuff like that. I'm also still working on building communities,
Hmm.
not really an expert because to be very honest, teen chapters Discord community is pretty inactive for like a long time. That's the reason now I just slowly started a WhatsApp community, but only for internships and founders discussions right now.
Hmm.
Not looking at like a building a huge community,
Hmm.
but I'm prioritizing more on the quality of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
candidate.
I was about to say that the quality of people over quantity.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, and the quality of the conversations rather
yeah,
than the quality of the people here.
true.
So yeah.
Okay, and like the community thing started, like I saw the trend that before COVID, like the community was there, but in the offline space, some through local chapters or into the city or into the college. But that community peak came up through Discord, Clubhouse. All these were very much trending during the COVID time. No one was able to go out, and as a human, people love to interact with different people. So that kind of a purpose was being solved at the COVID time, and that was the time which was needed by the people the most. But after it went down, like the COVID cases and everything, lockdown opened up, this community thing over an online space actually got very much impacted. Like the Clubhouse, if I'm mentioning it today, the number of people using Clubhouse would be very, very low than the people who would be using at the time of COVID. So that community factor came up because of COVID, I think, because at that time everyone was just using internet and phone. So they need someone to talk with or interact with people. So that space opened up more at that time. But now I think only those communities which are focused and niched but towards a particular thing or a goal, that can be much more active instead of just creating a group of people and doing some random discussions over a different period of time. Like it needs to be more focused and towards a one direction. through which all the people into the community is something they could relate up to.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And nowadays there are certain startups that manage your communities.
Hmm.
So they employ their team to the company, and then they externally manage these communities, or they're building certain tools to manage or build communities as well. I
Right.
recently spoke with a guy who builds something for communities, something for growing communities.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's called Seri. You can check it out. SERRI.
SERRI. It's like a community growth platform.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure. Again, I have to check. I don't want to be wrong in
Okay.
telling you what they're
No
actually
problem.
building, but
Yeah.
something related to building, growing, and scaling communities.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, like as you mentioned, you also tried about on different community platforms and social media towards the like your startup. So, what insights did you got? Like, what do you think was special into one particular social media platform that could help for, let's say, X Y Z things, and something which is unique about different social media platform that serves a different purpose. So, what were your insights regarding that?
Um, haven't researched a lot into this, but one thing that I found is that Instagram is a very massy platform. So if you want to, this all these insights I've learned from the place that I work right now. With regards to social media, the insights I've been getting was something that I've right now I've been learning from the people that I work with. Specifically, I work with Sama School right now. So that founder tells me a lot about social media and content. So one thing that I've learned there is that um, if you want to sell to the masses, then Instagram is your platform. You s- you put out ads, you make a lot of content, you do reels, you do posts, you do collaborations, works on Instagram, and that is where you reach to youngsters a lot,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
if you look at LinkedIn, a lot of people are making a lot of content on LinkedIn, professional content, funny content. There's this guy who I keep forgetting their names, but there's this guy who makes a lot of funny content on LinkedIn related to HRs and all. It's
Okay.
really
The
fun to
memes,
read.
yeah, the memes and like content around that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. He goes to INSEAD right now to do his MBA.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So with every platform serves a different purpose,
Hmm.
so you cannot really reach masses on LinkedIn because i- in my college itself there are so many people, and I see very less people using LinkedIn actively.
Hmm.
I mean, they make a profile, everyone has a profile, but I don't think no one really regularly opens LinkedIn, connects with people, posts
Hmm.
content, or write whatever their professional journey is.
Hmm.
So when you're building, specifically I think in education companies or with media companies, you should be super active on Instagram if you're targeting masses. But if you're targeting, say, senior leaders in the industry or something like that, then you should be looking at different alumni communities of B schools or
Hmm.
other tech schools, or probably LinkedIn to leverage your network.
Yeah.
So, and Discord, I think, is really good for people who are into gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Right. Right.
and now BuildSpace is building their own platform. Yesterday itself, he announced, and it's a very cool platform where you can connect with. And I don't know how to explain it because it was just a 2-minute clip video,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also building a platform for creators, for startup founders, for anyone and everyone who are looking for some sort of help or who are looking to connect.
Right.
So I think the app that they are building will definitely be a game changer.
Okay. So, like, on
Yeah,
which platform they are working on right now? Is it an app or like is it on the website or something like that?
they're building an app right now.
Okay, they are building
So
app. Okay.
yeah, from what I saw, so they were giving like a demo of the app yesterday,
Hmm.
but it was just a platform on the phone, and then they just clicked the home button, and I saw the app.
Okay.
So that's the reason I'm saying the app, but not sure. Maybe they might pivot. Right now, they're still testing the
Yeah.
product.
Yeah. Okay.
They haven't revealed a lot, but if there's some sort of glitches or something, they might pivot. But this
Hmm.
is what I know from the yesterday's session.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, different platforms serve different purposes,
Right.
and as a founder, you have to experiment the shit out of whatever's out there,
Yeah.
and then try picking, and don't just start off with 5 6 platforms in the beginning,
At the
because
very
that doesn't
right.
make sense. Yeah, pick 2 3 platforms that you want to go for, because Twitter or X, whatever. It serves a different purpose again.
Hmm.
I like reading lengthy content on Twitter than LinkedIn, because
Okay.
on Twitter it's like a thread
Hmm.
and it's really easy to read, and the content is very engaging on Twitter.
Hmm.
On LinkedIn, everyone's posting almost the same type of content. It's becoming very saturated.
Right.
So I'm just scrolling, but I'm not really interested in reading. But when it
Hmm.
comes to Twitter, it's much more engaging.
Yeah.
And Instagram creative reels, and there's like a new wave that's coming in with regards to production and filming. And if you follow Max Reisinger or
Hmm.
forgot this guy's name, but they have like a group.
Hmm.
You should look at Max Reisinger also. He's also a really good creator. So the way they film videos and the way they attract youth is
Hmm.
really good. So those kind of reels are also rising on Instagram, and I think different experiment with different content forms to attract the right audience at the end of the day.
Right.
So yeah,
Like particularly on Instagram, there is more of Gen Z users or the young people. So if the brand is oriented into that domain, they can definitely target that. And I feel on LinkedIn, it's more of a professional networking space, like where you can get connected with the CEOs or founders or the employees of the like different companies. So that like if it's into B2B side, that LinkedIn can give it a better catch because there's a direct connection which you can build with a person who is a part of that company or even the founder itself. So in that case, it has a definitely an advantage. And Discord, particularly, even I use Discord, but at the COVID time, after which I have hardly opened it because at COVID, I
same same.
remember there was a like very active community. Even it's like in today's time, it's Blue Learn if you have heard of. So
Yes,
yeah, they
yes.
used to keep so many different talk shows and events, regarding different topics on every weekend at that time. Something related to marketing, copywriting, or finance. So at that time it was very engaging. And I had time also to try out this thing. So I was very active there. And I feel that was a very good community, which I feel at the COVID time that actually helped me to know about different domains and everything through a one single space by just a Discord. But after which, by the like at the time at which the college started, offline things also opened up. So getting time for those things definitely decreased. But yeah, after which, like honestly, I didn't open Discord after it, like since last 5 6 months, you can say.
Same, same, same. I have the app,
Yeah.
but I rarely open it.
Yeah.
Even though Teen Chapter is on Discord, I don't open
Oh,
it.
no, I completely understand that because it keeps evolving. We cannot just fix it in a way that, okay, this is the thing and I'll do it forever. It's not like that. Things change,
Hmm.
the behavior of like the people change. Like in the COVID, they were more active. Now they are not. I am part of that for that blue line. So, like, yeah, the things happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was part of Blue Loans app, and then I was part of the Discord as well. I think now also they actively conduct
Yeah,
events.
they do.
They keep sending notifications on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess similar thing applies into our lives also because we cannot stick to one thing and say, I'll do this forever. Like that keeps changing with the more experiences we have or the more things we explore. So, like, how are you trying to explore these things? Like, figuring out what you actually like and what you want to do?
Good question.
Yeah.
So until now, I've explored pretty I've explored stuff with education companies and a bit of media and a bit of academic research until now, but I haven't really explored a lot of other things yet. And this year I want to do all of that. And this year I'm graduating in like the next 2 3 months.
Mhm.
So I've also taken permission from my parents, proper orthodox Indian parents, who do not really give permission for a lot of other activities. But my parents are pretty chill, so I gave them a list. I
Mhm.
gave them 7 things that I want to do this year.
Uh,
I will reveal the 7 things once I achieve it.
okay.
But I gave them a list of 7 things that I want to do this year,
Yeah.
and they gave me the permission. So hopefully by the end of 2024 December, I can finish these. And all these 7 things, each of them will help me with my personal growth or professional growth, or will just give me some sort of happiness while doing this. And these are also the things that I wanted to do back in high school or before starting college, stuff like that, and I couldn't do it
Yeah.
because peer pressure, society wanted me to go to college, all
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah.
But now I'm taking a year off. I'll be working with the company that I'm working for right now.
Mhm.
I'll be working on Team Chapter, but I'll also be doing these things. So I'll be going back home, staying with my parents, and then doing all of these things.
Mhm.
And I'm also planning to travel a bit, meet a couple of founders in India,
Mhm.
and a few abroad. So I want to meet them and then just have conversations and see what they're up to as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of plans for this year, and these 7 things are very essential. I'll tell them once I finish or achieve it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so in terms of exploring, I'm still exploring a lot right now. I've been fortunate enough to explore a lot with startups,
Mm-hmm.
but apart from startups, other if you mean other extracurriculars and stuff, I couldn't really explore a lot until now. And I come from a very I come from like a town where you cannot do anything apart from
Oh.
studying, and as a
Okay.
woman,
Hmm.
you got no freedom. Forget it. I have friends who got married off at 17,
Oh.
18, and yeah, one of my friends gave birth to a child also. So
Okay.
that is the state of the place,
Hmm.
and that was also one of the major reasons I started Teen Chapter,
Hmm.
is to spread awareness about what teens specifically, if you pursue entrepreneurship, then what are you capable of.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm.
And that's also one of the reasons I created the 6-week program last year as well.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and this year also I want to spread a lot of this awareness in startups into tier 2 and tier 3 towns and cities.
Hmm.
So yeah, and that's the reason 2024 is very important for me in achieving all these things and
Yeah.
in exploring all these things.
True, true. So, like, apart from building up, what challenges did you face apart from it, like from the external factors, and how did you overcome them? Because I feel this could be the similar story of many different students from coming from like remote states or remote cities of India, who could be in a similar situation, who want to start up something new, but there is something which is holding them back. It could be either their society or their own thoughts or belief. So, what did you face, and how did you overcome it? And I really appreciate that you came out of that conventional background and did something new, like something out of the box from your choice. So, like a big kudos to you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Um, so, challenges, I mean, in thoughts and beliefs, I've never faced that because biggest supporter, my dad, who's also an entrepreneur. So he was like, leave the society, do whatever you want, and that's where the entrepreneurship thing also came into picture. He used to watch a lot of Shark Tank US, Australia, and all of that, and then I started watching them and I got inspired from that.
Yeah.
And I've also seen these young entrepreneurs in the US doing a lot of things. And I was in Singapore for a brief period of time. I also studied in Singapore, and there I saw the culture, the kids, and how different they are from the town that I grew up in.
Mhm.
Um, so I never had the thought belief barrier at all. I could do whatever I wanted. But when it came to society, yes, my immediate family was pretty supportive, but my extended family, I would say, they never really cared about what I'm doing. So I also never really cared about.
Hmm.
Initially I did, I'm like, I'm trying to put in some efforts, and they're not really recognizing it.
Hmm.
But at the end, I mean, I think a lot of teenagers also think that even though they're putting certain efforts in education or in starting up, or even if doing the tiniest thing possible that gives them happiness, your family is not really acknowledging it. But in my case, I did feel bad for like a few days or maybe a month or two, but later I was like, it doesn't matter, or let me do whatever I'm interested in doing. Luckily now all of them support me. So the thing is that, just it's I think that's the reason I emphasize a lot on having a support system.
Yeah.
Uh, if you're not able to start up, or if you're not able to uh, get past that belief that you cannot do it, then just reflect upon why you want to build this particular idea.
Hmm.
What are you getting out of it? And specifically, whom are you building this for? And what kind of problem are you solving? Right? And once you answer these questions, you'll have a clear picture, or at least the starting point as to where you should enter or what you have to do. Based on that, talk to people. Because before I started Teen Chapter, I spoke with so many people in this platform. I knew there were so many people doing this featuring teens and all of that.
Yeah.
But then that's the reason I kept improvising my startup. I kept launching these programs. And I also know Build Space or any other program or any other company will come do much better than what I'm doing in terms of entrepreneurial programs.
Hmm.
But still, I want to do something, and I'm still like exploring a lot, experimenting a lot with building that support system for teens. So if you have any problem, go talk to people, go reach out on LinkedIn. LinkedIn should be your best friend,
Hmm.
not even Instagram in this case. If you want to talk to professional people, be shameless, go network. Because I saw in this podcast, if you know Vaibhav Sisanti,
Yeah.
who's the founder of Growth School.
Yeah.
Yes. So he in one podcast told that LinkedIn is the only platform where you have the founders of major companies and you yourself on the same platform.
Hmm.
So you can literally reach out to them, connect with them, and message them. And then if they're not replying to you, connect with their next immediate seniors or something like that,
Hmm.
right? And then you reach out to them, ask them for advice, ask them for 10 minutes chat. If you're in Bangalore or any city, just go meet them. There's no harm in like catching up with them and stuff.
Hmm.
So once you have the basic questions figured out as to why you want to build something, then go talk to people, or even before that, go talk to people if you have confusion. Have mentors in life.
Yeah.
My biggest mentor, of course, is my dad, but I have another mentor that I previously also mentioned about when I was mentioning about the 6 week program.
Hmm.
So he was very instrumental in uh, making my thought process very clear.
Hmm.
I was very confused about the program, very confused about Teen Chapter, and I was at a point where I wanted to shut down Teen Chapter at a point because I was like, "There's nothing happening." But then he was very instrumental in this journey, and he helped me in refining my thoughts and building something. And one of the reason Teen Chapter is still there right now is
Hmm.
major chunk of appreciation goes to him.
Hmm.
So have these support system, have these people, and follow certain people on LinkedIn or wherever that can help you get through your barriers. So
Right.
that is the only thing I can say right now. But if you have like extreme barriers, then I'm not sure. But it's always the people that can support you, I'd say.
Right. So how do you connect with them? Because like let's say like that person is a founder of a very big company and we as a student are approaching them basically on a like on an on-ground reality we aren't having anything to give them. It's only a take kind of a relationship. So what how do you build that and maintain it for long term? How did you do that?
So big founders, I also haven't reached out yet. So again, Teen Founders Club was the huge experiment of my life. With that, if they are not replying, I mean, there are a lot of cold emailing hacks, cold calling hacks available online. I tried some of them, and I got them. I got most of them through follow-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So I first emailed them, huge email, which I realized that it doesn't work. No one has the time to read your huge emails.
Right.
And being a founder, absolute no time.
Yeah, right.
So
They're a little busy, yeah. Right.
yes, make your email as crisp as possible. The headline, and Web of Siddhi again says the best headline for any email is hi, just hi.
Oh,
Um,
seriously?
Yes, but I haven't tried it out yet. I want to try.
Okay.
But he said it's just hi.
I'll try
So
it out too.
you should
Yeah.
get people for the podcast with just headline hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are certain things that I've um, inculcated in the email, but again, I kept if they're not accepting my LinkedIn request, and it's a process, right? You cannot just expect a huge founder to come into your podcast or to come into your community or to come speak with you just right yet.
Hmm.
They won't come like just messaging or then they won't do that.
They
Like
would be that spontaneous, you know.
yeah, like they would be like, "Who are you? Why should I spend
Huh.
my time for you?" It should be a
Yeah.
process where you're slowly connecting with them. You're
Right.
liking their posts, you're commenting, you're interacting with their team members. Something that you can also do is you interact with the team members
Hmm.
first, and then build good rapport with them, and slowly you climb the ladders and get their connections. Ask for a 15-minute coffee chat or something like that.
Hmm.
So these are some things that also work, but also like building that trust or building that relationship before you ask for something is
Hmm.
super important when it comes to founders.
Right. Right.
So and sometimes you'll be lucky enough that they reply to you in the first second message or the first second follow-up
Hmm.
itself.
Yeah.
So some angel investors that I'm connected with, the first message that I've sent, they've replied back to me, and if I look at that message right now, whatever I've sent, I'll puke because it was shittiest message ever. No one should message like that. So but you will keep knowing your messaging keeps evolving through time
Yeah.
while connecting with people. But I'd say it's a process. No one's gonna connect with you in just one go unless they're your uncle or something.
Hmm.
But but yeah, just build that relationship with them, like their posts, comment, reach out to their team members, connect with them on LinkedIn, message them on Instagram, do follow-ups, don't spam them, but do timely follow-ups and stuff like that, and also email them.
Hmm.
Hopefully doesn't end up into the spam folder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the email thing, I remember in one of the podcasts of Weber itself, he mentioned that if we want to get a reply back and that person is not replying, we can add something at the end that just type me a no. Like if you are not interested, if you don't want me to follow back, just type me a no. And then a very high
Is this
chance.
Nishant Sharma? Is this Nishant that said?
No, it's a Vaibhav's podcast. I remember. In fact, I took the screenshot of it because
I've
that's what I
heard this too.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I've heard this too. And if you say that,
yeah.
then they'll for sure, not for sure, but most of the times, they'll
They will
reply
reply
saying
back, at
so.
least with a no, or either with, or like an extended timeline regarding that. Basically, I tried that out and actually I got replies either in the form of a no or either in the form of a, extended timeline, like later on and at a particular time, like that. So I guess that works. Sometimes I think that being straightforward as a person is very much, disadvantageous. But in some of the cases, it's very much beneficial as well. Like in this cases where you want to be, straightforward with the person, like whether it's a yes or a no, like you want these things done like at a fast rate, or basically you want their reply. So I tried it and like it worked luckily till now.
And also one other way to reach out to these founders is that leveraging your mutual connections.
Hmm.
So as I said, my mentor connected me with two Shark Tank funded startup founders. If you know Neophony and Event Beep,
Yeah.
he connected me with both these founders, Ria and Rakhi, both of them. So that's how I was able to connect with a lot of people. And I connected with Rishav on LinkedIn. He's very open to connecting with student entrepreneurs now.
Yeah, true, true. Dandu
Yes. So
Fellowship. Yeah, I think you are also part of it.
which one?
Dandu Fellowship?
No, no, I am not part of it. I'm part of his ecosystem community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not part of the fellowship yet.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
running it till like the past year.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I've seen that. Yeah,
Yeah, that is
yeah,
also a good thing. Like we can connect to other student founders. So that is
yes,
very fascinating because we are on the same age group. So we are able to relate with each other more, and the problems which they're solving is also very different and unique. So that is very fascinating.
yes, yes. Absolutely.
So like as a student, how do you manage startup as well as your studies? Like how do you maintain a balance between them?
Before I used to manage well, but now another thing got added where I work also for
Yeah,
another startup.
yeah, yeah, true.
But luckily my college doesn't have fixed schedule,
Hmm.
so it's like now not 9 to 5. So sometimes I have three classes in a day, sometimes just one, sometimes no class. So today I didn't have any class,
Hmm.
and the entire day I was working. I wouldn't say entire day, but like 5 6 hours for the startup, and sometime for my startup, and sometime I listen to podcasts which are not related to entrepreneurship. I need a break from entrepreneurship,
Yeah, we can't
so
be surrounded by 24/7.
yes, yes. I was listening to some podcast on Amazon rainforest and
Mm-hmm.
conservation,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So, but with regards to, and I also sleep decent 7 8 hours every day. But yeah, I mean, if I'm working for 1 hour, I make sure I put in a lot of effort in that 1 hour itself.
Yeah.
But academically, I don't really stay that focused. I tend to get distracted a lot in academics. But if it's something related to startup or work, I'll just put on music and then I'll start working and I'll get work done at any cost.
Yeah, right.
But if it is academics, then it's kind of distracting. Then I take 6 7 hours to do a very simple problem or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that at the end of the day, I do some jugaad and then I
Yeah,
finish it.
right, right.
Yeah, I do something and I finish it. But with startups, I make sure I get shit done on time.
Yeah, true. Like this
Yeah.
also happens into academics in my thing also. Like if we are having an assignment, so like even before the deadline comes up, the most important thing is what is that last one day. Everything in the engineering gets done before a day. Like if I'm having a deadline tomorrow, I'll do it a day before. So everything last minute, it just goes on, and it has become a habit now. Without deadline, nothing
Same.
works. And secondly, when if there is a deadline, that thing will get completed at the day before. So like I think
Right.
many
So,
of the engineers who would be watching this could relate to it, because this has happened like with many of my friends as well. Like सब कुछ एक दिन पहले करने की आदत वैसा, that has happened.
yes, yes, yes. If my assignments are due at 11:59, I submitted 11:58,
Yeah,
and it became a habit that even my parents have started making fun of it. They're like, if I say I have an assignment, they're like, "Acha, don't worry,
last
11:58
में हो
you'll
गया.
submit."
Right, right, right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there's no specific schedule or management system.
Yeah.
Just some days I don't feel like working at all, and I don't work. I slack a lot, and then later I cry that I haven't worked enough, and then I work. So today was slightly productive, but not the best.
How do you make
Yeah,
it productive?
push myself to finish the tasks. Have like a strict to-do list, but I don't put a lot of things there. Just 2 to 3 things that I want to get done, and I make sure I finish that.
Mhm.
But sometimes unexpected things happen. Like even if I have a to-do list, my friends might come, make some plans, or I might just sleep off, or something might happen.
Yeah,
So it depends on the day itself.
right.
Yeah, there's no, I cannot brag about any strict schedule or a system.
Mhm.
It's just on the like go with the flow.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
example, tomorrow I have 3 classes, which
Mhm.
is like 6-7 hours of academics,
Okay.
which will make me accountable to go to classes, which will make me accountable to wake up and
Mhm.
all of that. So tomorrow might be productive, but today was a holiday, and again I've listened to a lot of people. They say that, get dressed well and
Mhm.
then shift your place. Don't sit on your bed and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Keep following all of that. Works to a certain extent. So today I got dressed so that I might be productive,
yeah.
but not 100% productive.
Yeah, because like that affects at the mental level, at the psychology of the person. For example, if you're wearing a formal attire with a blazer and a pant, very well dressed up for something, versus you wearing a normal dress or a pajamas for like a event or a party, that actually creates a different, like into the mindset or whatever the way we think. That also gets attached to what we do and like what we see as well. So everything is so much interconnected.
And also the people or the environment around you. Best example, my roommate in college. So my roommate, whenever she sleeps till like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I become very lazy. I also start sleeping. I'm like, oh, world is chill, nothing to do. And then
Yeah,
I remember, shit, I have 3 meetings, I have
right.
this much assignments and all of that.
Happens.
And the day she wakes up, she runs. I'm like, shit, I also have to go do stuff.
Yeah, right.
So
Happens.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I tell my friends to be my accountability partners.
Mhm.
So yeah, like make me accountable for things that I do not do on time.
Yeah, that's a good
So
thing to do. Like we
yeah,
can actually, rely on them to make sure that our habits are in progress and we don't miss out on something.
yeah, yeah.
And in hostel, I guess that gets easier to do because you are, just living in the same room, or like your friend is living into the room beside you. So that communication gap is very low. But like since I'm also like currently into NIT Surat, but I'm not a hostelite, so I live at home. So the only barrier becomes is I need to call them or message them on WhatsApp. I cannot just pop up into their room and just have a quick conversation. So I feel, yeah, that is an advantage of being into hostel.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. When you all are under the same shelter or the
Yeah.
same roof, so it becomes easy to communicate.
Yeah, true. And like you are able to, share your feelings or share your ideas and thoughts very clearly, like to the person sitting next to you in your room. So that becomes a great advantage, I feel. And also, you have a very good companion for your college life throughout. Like maybe you get the different rooms in the next semester, but yeah, friendships is what I feel which we can cherish the most in our college time.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. And this is the last trimester, I mean, the last 2, 3 months
Yeah.
of college. So, figuring out a lot of stuff. And my friends are also very busy with their college applications,
Hmm.
their work, and all of that. So, that also makes me accountable. Okay, what next? What should I do next? Where should I work?
Right.
What are my plans like?
Right. Because if we are working into an isolation where no one is there around us, then we feel that, yeah, we are in the right path. But if we get to know, okay, what that 10 other people are doing, or, what are my peer group doing, that gives us a push. Okay, I also need to figure out something because I also need to get ahead. We can't just get stuck at one particular point and, just let things go on. So that planning thing or that push we get from others by seeing them, because if I feel that at the exam time most of the people go to library, and I feel that library, what does it do? It just gives you an environment where there is silence and everyone is studying, and that's why you feel like studying. You won't get up again and again, which you do at home. And that is what makes library different from your study table at home. The action which you are performing is the same, but the environment does affect our productivity and what we want to do. And that's why it matters, like with whom we are sitting or in what environment we are in. So like I heard in many podcasts, they say that you need to be very much conscious about your surroundings, to whom you are spending your time with. So I guess that actually plays an important role in the longer run. Like if we think how all these things adds up, then like it does play an important role.
Yes, very beautifully explained. Love the way you explain. I could visualize everything.
Yeah, thanks. I love to talk, to be honest.
I can see that you have a lot of excitement within you.
Yeah. So anything else that you would like to share to a student who wish to be a founder, like who is currently into a school or a college, have some different ideas. So what's your take on it and any advice you would like to give them?
Again, I would, if you have an idea, well and good, start it out because you're very young. Since you're in school or college, you have a lot of time to explore, fail, and succeed. And I've read this somewhere, not sure if it's on Twitter or somewhere, but I'm not even sure if I'm framing it right. But I think it says that failing faster and smaller is much better than failing in the long run with having to face huge losses and all of that. So, quick fails will teach you how to improvise your product.
Yeah.
Um, than failing in the long run where you have a lot of resources spent on it or you have a lot of investment that you have done, a lot of people that rely on your product or rely on your team, that is much more, of course, very bad than this thing. So since you're in school and college, you have the time to explore. Just go out there, explore your idea. Doesn't matter if it's a non-profit, for-profit, that works, not doesn't work, doesn't matter. If you know it can create impact, go ahead, talk to
Correct.
people. Again, I said a lot of things about emailing, LinkedIn, talking to
Yeah.
people. Do all of that and be part of a community. Any community that's active or um, any like or be part of a circle that motivates you, be it friends or founders. Try being with student entrepreneurs because if that's what you want to do,
Yeah.
then they will motivate you. If you're interested in becoming a doctor, be part of someone who aspires to be a doctor or like a doctor circle, something like that. So that is important. So experiment since you're very young, and because even if you fail, you're still studying, so
Yeah.
you have the backup option of going back and doing something.
Right.
Um, and don't drop out of college, please. I
Yeah,
wouldn't really
this is a
suggest
very
that.
big trend going out on social media, you know. Like I worked on a startup and I'm dropping off. And this is the revenue I generated. Everyone agreed, so I dropped off. I'm like, Arey, this can't be applied to everyone, no.
Yes, yes. Don't drop out because your
Yeah.
college degree might act as your
Safety net.
backup in the
Yeah.
future. Yes, safety net. That's the right word. And yeah, experiment, don't drop out, and then build the right connections. Talk to have mentors in life, and then mentors, people, it's good if you have people in the industry that you want to work with or you want to start your organization in. If it's an education company, talk to leaders in education.
Hmm.
If you want to start something in policy, talk to government officials, talk to policymakers
Hmm.
or people like that, talk to economists,
Yeah.
something like that. Build your own circle, build your own connections, talk, connect,
Yeah.
and then you will know what to do, where you want to end up, and all.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and choose your degree wisely. Since you're in school,
True.
a lot of people choose the degree that you do wisely. Just because society wants you to do engineering and
Mhm.
medicine, don't do engineering and medicine.
Right.
If you want to do
I completely agree
politics,
with this.
go to
Yeah.
politics. Yeah, I fought a lot with my family. Again, not with my mom, dad. Again, they'll see this podcast. They'll be like, "Oh, what did we see?"
Yeah.
So not them,
Hmm.
but other family members. They're like, "Oh, what will you do with a BA honors in economics?"
Mhm.
But I'm like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But engineering and medicine is not something, not my cup of tea.
True.
So be very straight and strict about it. And if you don't know what you want to do, take a year off, probably explore, and then choose wisely. And if you do not have the liberty to take a year off, say your family wants you to get a degree ASAP, then try convincing them, or else can't do much. Or else, even if you're doing a degree that your parents want to do, get into extracurriculars that you like,
Hmm.
not what they like.
Right, right. Because like in society, there is a convention. Yeah, either you become a doctor or an engineer. And they think that there is nothing in between. Although there are so many different opportunities and scopes which might be unknown to many, which might be a part of their interest. But they don't know just because society has given only two options. Either you give JE or a NEET. There is nothing else. So I guess that's very wrong. Student as a student, like either they are in 10th or even at the time of stream selection, they should know what exactly is being taught in commerce, what is in the arts. Because many schools, like I wouldn't say a school, I'd say like then my school teachers and will come up to me, so I won't use that. But like in the perception of the society, basically, they think that if they are having very good marks or good percentile, grades, whatever we consider, they'll consider them selecting science over other things. So like it's very much dependent upon, like as a student we don't use much of a mind to decide what I want to do next. It's either dependent upon what people say or what our parents would say, so that decision is dependent upon them. But it's important, like if the parents or the teachers or even the school are aware enough that they want to show what are the career options available, then there is a fair deal where student is able to decide what interests them. And if they give them a chance to do that, then that's definitely the best thing. Because through that they can't only know what they want to do, they'll also get to know what they don't want to do. And I feel figuring out what they don't want to do is equally important as figuring out what they want to do. So too much want to know what to do,
Yes.
but it's
But actually, to solve this problem, do you know Dyumna?
due now.
Dyumna.
Could you
Okay,
explain?
Dyumna. Dyumna.
No, tell me more about it.
So she runs she's starting something called Project Clay, where you can, after your 10th or your 12th, you can explore different majors, I mean, different courses, and you can explore different kind of skills, or skills like um, entrepreneurship, pottery, and other stuff like that. And you can explore medicine, physics, archaeology, a lot of things. So
Okay.
she's creating a playground for high school students to explore these majors and whatever is taught in college or outside in a bite-sized camp,
Okay,
or
awesome.
like a cohort kind of a thing.
Mhm.
So she did that last year or last year, but now she's doing it properly again.
Okay. Like that would
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
great way to explore, what are the different domains,
Yes.
what are the different industries in which one can get into. Because if we don't know that thing, then how can one think of getting into it? For that,
Hmm.
awareness should be there, and that is very important. Like to be at least aware, okay, these things also exist. CAs are also there, IAS, IPS are also there. So we need to at least know. Like that awareness
Yes.
things actually plays a very big role. And that risk and responsibility thing, like if we are into school or college, the amount of responsibility that we have is not that much as we might be having in our 30s or 40s. So the risk taking capability is very high. And another thing which I always think is there is nothing to lose at this point of time if we are starting up or trying out something new. But if we go and fast forward it into our 30s or 40s, there would be a huge amount of responsibilities probably, as well as the risk taking capacity would be less for like a common person as we are having in comparison to in our school or college. So I guess this is a time we could take a, bet upon, or, try out different things so that we can know what we need to do in a longer term.
Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, everyone should have the choice to explore different things, and I think uh, at the end of the day, how much our schools and colleges or your parents try to push you, it's on you to go out there to
Yeah,
explore, to see what you like.
absolutely.
So, and if you're maybe choosing a wrong degree, you still have some sort of time to correct that and go explore something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's on personal intent at the end of the day.
Yeah, true. So it was a great conversation with you. A very friendly chit chat also around networking and cold mailing and everything. So I guess this is also very much insightful to the viewers as well. और अगर आप अब तक एंड में रहे हो तो हर उस एक फ्रेंड के साथ जिसको एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में और जानना है उसको जरूर से शेयर करना, एंड मेक श्योर सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया देन डू इट राइट नाउ. एंड ऑल्सो यू कैन connect to both of us. I'll surely drop out our LinkedIn handles in the description so you can connect with Meghna as well. And thank you so much for being here till the end, and see you in the next podcast.
Thank you so much, Preksha, for inviting me. Have a
Pleasure is
great day
all
ahead,
mine.
everyone.
Yeah, pleasure is
Yeah.
all mine. Yeah.